Hey ladies, welcome back to another episode of the Girl You Are Magic podcast. I'm so excited to bring you another episode. Today we'll be talking about how to get your life together. And as you all know, it's a new year and everyone's into the New Year's resolution. I don't really believe in the New Year's resolution, but I just wanted to touch on goal setting and why that is so important to actually accomplish your goals in the new year. So if you're feeling lost in life and you don't know what direction to take, my best advice would be to start setting goals. It was actually a tip from my therapist. She told me, and this was when I was lost, I was in a bad place, and I had so many ideas on what to do in my life, but I didn't know what direction to take because I was so creative and multi-talented. I didn't know where to focus on. So goal setting actually gave me something to look forward to at the end of the month. And it gave my life meaning. It gave my life purpose and direction. And I went from being someone who was depressed to someone who actually has purpose and is excited about life. So let's talk about how to finally get your life together. The very first thing you want to know about setting goals is to take the time to reflect. So think about your life currently and think about your desired life. Think about all aspects of your life. So currently we have 7 areas typically. There's 7 areas of life that you can focus on. So there's your physical, there's your relationships, your career, your finances, your spirituality, your mental health, and even your environmental, or even I would say emotional, depending on your preference. So this is more based on your priority. So you have to figure out what's important to you and then find out the things that you like to prioritize in each of these areas. So write down your goals under each area. So like physical, you want to get fit. Be very specific. So maybe you want to lose 50 pounds. And in your relationships, you may want to start prioritizing your relationship with yourself. So maybe develop a sense of self-love. And for your career, you could want to get a new job. Your finances could be, so for your finances, you could look at saving up maybe $10 a week, $100 a week. You could do the 50, 40, 30 budget rule. For your spirituality, maybe you want to get closer to God. Maybe you want to practice more gratitude. For your mental health, maybe you want to start seeing a therapist. Maybe you want to, what could be a mental health goal? Let's see. Maybe you want to start distancing yourself from negative people. You want to take a break from social media. And for your environmental wellness, you could focus on cleaning your home regularly. Because I know that when I have a clean space, I'm able to perform better mentally. And so what I found is that in these areas of life, they sort of feed into each other. And the point of it is not to strive for balance, because I find that when you try to find a balance, it sort of eludes you. So the most important thing is to prioritize what is important to you and where you want your life to go. The reason why I say this is because last year I was really struggling with my work-life balance. And I came to the conclusion that work-life balance sometimes can be a myth, okay? And sometimes it's actually okay to prioritize work and your mental health before relationships. And honestly, if you haven't gotten your life together, that it doesn't make sense to date or to look to be obsessed about men or be looking to you. Honestly, you shouldn't be looking to date if you haven't gotten your life together. I see so many people on TikTok, especially this is women. I'm talking about women. We are so obsessed with being in relationships, with being with someone that we can't even be by ourselves. Sometimes you just need to get your life together before you start investing in other types of relationships. And I'm talking about romantic relationships. We can focus on the physical, we can focus on our finances, we can focus on investing in ourselves to become the type of woman that we need to be so that we can attract the right partners into our lives. So yeah, that's that. I really think that when it comes to setting goals, take the time to reflect on what's important to you in all these 7 areas of your life. Write a full list of all these goals down. In fact, I would just like write a list of goals inspired by the 7 areas of life. Just write them down. Anything that comes to mind that would make you a happier person, write that down. The second point is to figure out what goal to focus on. And this goal has to make the most significant difference in your life. So you have to look at it from an 80-20 perspective. So the 80-20 rule is 80% of the work you do, 80% of the results come from 20% of the work that you do. So based on the list that you've written, just choose one goal that's going to make a significant impact in your life. For me, I definitely know like my finances. I mean, I'm speaking about myself. My finances will make the most difference in my life because with money, you can travel, you can make time for more relationships, you can even afford to get a therapist if you want. You know, of course, there's more to life than, I'm not even going to lie. I wanted to say there's more to life than money, but in my opinion, I think that you can't really live a fulfilled life if you don't have money. So money is obviously one of the most important things in my life. And that's something that I choose to focus on. Your goal could be physical. But I would say that if you haven't gotten your life together and you feel lost, getting a man or making friends isn't going to fill that void. You need to work on yourself. You need to work on developing yourself as a person. You need to work on actually liking yourself before you can get other people to like you. So number 3 is to write down your SMART goal. So this has to be written down on a sheet of paper, not a planner, not a notebook. You have to see this every single day. So the one goal that you've chosen, write it out as a SMART goal. And a SMART goal basically means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timed. That's what a SMART goal is. So you write your goal as a specific. So what's this? So let's say, for example, I wanted to lose 20 pounds in a month. So that's the specific. I want to lose 20 pounds in January. And my measurable would be maybe each week I would lose 5 pounds. And so what's achievable? Achievable could be I go running I run 3 times a week. That's achievable, right? And then why is this relevant? I think that it's so important to write a strong why, because if you don't write a strong why, chances of you quitting will be a lot higher. Because trust me when I say that the moment you decide to change your life, you're going to have a lot of pushback from your subconscious. So you have to have a very strong why, an unshakable why. The why has to be so big that if you don't do it, you're going to be miserable. And you have to keep seeing that on your wall. Here's your SMART goal. This is why I have to keep doing this. And then under relevance, you write your timed. I'm going to put some details on the show notes so that you can understand what I'm talking about. But I really hope this makes sense. So you have your specific, you have your measurable, you have your achievable, you have your relevant, and you have your timed. And your time could be by January 2024. Or actually, you don't even have to. Yeah, January 2024, 31st, I would have lost 30 pounds or 20 pounds, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a physical goal. It could be any of the goals that you've chosen in all areas of life. But one thing that has to be written down is the goal that you chose in the present tense. So I am losing 20 pounds this month. Measurable, I lose 5 pounds in a week. Achievable, I run 3 times a week. Relevant, if I don't lose weight, I'm going to be fucking miserable and unattractive. I don't know. I don't know. You have to pick. I mean, for me, the reason why I have to go to the gym, my strong why for going to the gym is that if I don't go to the gym, I feel restless, my mental health goes down, and actually it affects my confidence. And without confidence, I can't do anything in life. I can't take new chances. I can't travel the world. I can't meet new people. It just affects the quality of my life, right? So it also, I mean, there's so many reasons why I have a strong why, but your why has to be specific to you. So, okay, moving on. Okay, one more thing actually. The common mistake that people make when setting goals is they set very high, unrealistic goals. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people set New Year's resolutions and then they drop out by the second week. I like to use the gym as an example because I love going to the gym. I mean, if you haven't if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm a gym girly, so I'm always at the gym. And one thing I notice is there's a lot of people in the gym January 1st, but then that number starts to plummet around the second week of January. And not even the end of the second week. So after the 7th of January, the numbers start to go down. Why is that? Because people think that they can go from not working out to being the type of person that works out 7 days a week. It just doesn't work that way. So when you want to set goals, you want it to be realistic. And that's what achievable means in the SMART goal system. You want it to be realistic. Ask yourself if this is a realistic goal. And be gentle with yourself. Because I remember last year, I set this huge goal for myself because sometimes I'm an overachiever and it just happens. Like I try to push myself. I'm very ambitious. But truth is, I was doing my best. But the thing is, I didn't recognize that there are two different types of goals to set. So there's the long-term goal and then there's a short-term goal. And for you, whatever that is, let's say you want to save £10,000, right? You're not going to save £10,000 in a month if you haven't done that before. So maybe you start with 100, maybe you start with 200. And that could be from the little things like, okay, you don't order Uber Eats as often as you would. And before you know it, like you've racked up £100 in $100 in a month. So you start small, and then in the next month you can go for 200, you can go for 500, but you need to set realistic goals, because if you don't set realistic goals, you're going to feel overwhelmed and chances of you quitting will be a lot higher, and you're just going to give up entirely because you don't think that it's possible anyways. And that's why a lot of people start New Year's resolutions. Honestly, I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions, but a lot of people start New Year's resolutions and then they don't see through. But yeah, moving on to the fourth point. You have to be accountable. A good idea for you, yeah, could be to create a video of your future self talking about how wonderful it is to have achieved your goal. So this one goal that we've picked, talk about it like you've already achieved it. And honestly, this is going to feel so good to you as as it did for me. Or it could feel, you could feel imposterish as well. That could definitely happen. But I feel like there's something about talking about something like it's already happened. It feels good, right? And that's exactly how you want to feel. You want to feel like it's already happened. Chances of you manifesting will be a lot quicker. Act as if you've already received it in your video and talk to your now self and tell your now self how it feels to have achieved everything that you wanted to at the start of the year, right? You could be like, okay, it's depending on the time frame that you set. So you can set long-term goals. You can put your long-term goals in your planner, your journal, whatever it is. And you can put your short-term goals in your planner as well. But it's very important that you have your SMART goals or your short-term goals on paper, on a sticky note, not a sticky note, like a printable where you can see it on a daily basis. So like whatever that goal is, at the end of the time frame that you set for yourself. So it doesn't have to be a monthly time frame, by the way. It could be a 3 months time frame. So at the end of that time frame, you could do like, oh my gosh, girl, I'm so proud of you. Like this just happened. And I can't believe like just act like you've already achieved your goal. I can't believe how we're here and we did this, we did X, Y, Z to get here. And now this new opportunities in our life, and now I get to go here. And you have to like talk about it in detail, right? In great detail. And I don't want you to overthink this process because it's supposed to be fun. It's like a video diary, but from the future, you know? It's supposed to be a fun exercise. Don't overthink it. Let your words flow, and whatever that is that you're supposed to do will come out as well. Because one thing I find is that sometimes I might be confused as to how something will flow into my life. But then creating this video, I just get the answers that I'm looking for. So if you feel lost and you don't really know what to do, you don't really know what step to take, a great thing to do would just be to record yourself. Number 5 is to create a reward system. Okay, this reward system has been a game changer for me, because I remember when I was so new to goal setting and I wasn't sure if I was doing it right, but I remember trying this reward system because I was that girl that was so lazy. Okay, I wasn't lazy, but I just wasn't as motivated, right? And a great way to motivate myself was to give myself a gift at the end of every month. So my goals were monthly. I made sure I set monthly goals. I also advise that you do as well. It's good to have monthly goals, maybe goals for every 3 months. So quarterly goals as well. I really think that monthly goals are a game changer and having a reward system are a game changer. So what I did was I at the end of every month, I would get myself a plant because at the time that was what I could afford. And honestly, that's what I like, right? So you can get yourself something that means something to you. It gives you something to look forward to. It motivates you to if you think that you're that girl that just gets unmotivated, you get lazy sometimes, you can't be bothered to go to the gym, but then you remember that at the end of your goal, you get yourself something nice. It doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be a Chanel bag because I mean, like, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to sponsor I'm not trying to encourage your spending habits, but you can get yourself anything, you know? It could be a Chanel bag, but be careful. Like, don't, especially if you're trying to save money, you know, be careful how much you spend. But I really think that setting or having a reward system, it's kind of like saying thank you to yourself. Because if you don't appreciate the progress you're making, you're not really going to want to do more. And that's something I really slept on rewarding myself last year because I got so used to achieving my goals that it just became this non-stop overachieving cycle of, okay, so what's the next goal? What's the next goal? What's the next goal? And you have to be careful with that as well. Because yes, you can set goals and achieve them, but it can also become this addictive cycle, And you have to reward the small wins as well as the big wins as well. Don't forget to thank yourself for showing up every day because I think that even showing up is doing the work. And you just have to be consistent and remind yourself why you're doing this. And I really hope that this podcast helps you. I'm going to leave some details on the show notes so that you can go through them and read through them if you find anything useful as well. So yeah, that is it for this episode. I hope it's helped you. And yeah, I love you and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Mwah.